My father took journalism at Temple because there was no foreign language requirement. He ended up choosing journalism for a terrible reason, but now he's done it for 50-something years. It seems to have worked out okay.
The first time I met Murray is when he came into the Temple News. I was his first editor at the Temple News, and I was his first editor at the Philadelphia Inquirer. He's been a reporter everywhere. He was a features editor. He was a City Hall reporter.
I think Murray does what a lot of good reporters do. He listens with a really open mind. He asks great questions. He was just a wonderful storyteller. Maybe his chief characteristic was that he was basically nosy, and he turned that into a lifetime career.
We covered the first move. He had a really prominent role in that. I think it was nominated for the Pulitzer. I know the second one was too.
There's people who retire and they don't know what to do with themselves, and he really hasn't stopped doing it. He just doesn't go into an office. He's been writing books for years and years and years now. His first book was a book about a sport called volleyball. He wrote a book about South Philadelphia, which is where he's from and where he grew up.
He knows everybody in South Philly still. He tells fantastic, wonderful, hilarious stories about South Philly, often stories that would take most people just 5 minutes to tell. Murray can tell it in 45 minutes. It says everything there is about this neighborhood in Philadelphia. He's a true source to go to.
He found this guy named Octavius Catto, who was an incredible guy who integrated the streetcars 100 years before Rosa Parks, integrated baseball before Jackie Robinson, fought to get blacks the right to vote. He ran into his buddy Dan Biddle and said, I have this amazing story, do you want to hear about it? And Dan Biddle said, sure. Dan Biddle said, oh, I have that same story, I'm also obsessed with it. They decided to work together on it.
He was always able to bring home a story that I think showed his inquisitiveness and his deep interest in what you thought as a human being. You know, not what he thought, but what you thought.
He is working on a historical fiction book. He's been working on it forever. He writes fast and he writes short and he writes to the point because he's a journalist and he's like a newspaper guy and he has to fit it in 8 inches. And suddenly he can write as long as he wants and he's not used to it.
I really hope that we can continue to produce the Murray Dubins in this city. There are very few reporters, to my mind, that matched his love for the city. And not only his love for the city, but his curiosity to bring out stories that nobody else would be thinking about.